Hello, and welcome to week 34. In this session, we'll break down Alpha Maverick's performance, volatility regime adjustments, and the key risk management decisions that shaped the week's outcome. Let's dive into the analysis. Week 34 was a particularly positive week for Alpha Maverick, combining a strong return with one of the most controlled relative drawdown levels we have seen recently. The week developed under relatively low and stable market volatility, with an average volatility reading of approximately 37. At this level, the system operates comfortably within its normal trading regime and can execute up to 3 trades simultaneously whenever all the required conditions are confirmed. Throughout the week, Alpha Maverick identified a significant number of trading opportunities, allowing the strategy to build its performance progressively. However, one of the most interesting aspects of week 34 was the way the system reacted when it detected a change in the underlying market trend. At one stage, the direction identified by the system became contrary to some of the positions that were already open. Rather than simply maintaining the original exposure and waiting for the market to reverse, Alpha Maverick responded dynamically to the new information. As a result, there was a period during which buy and sell positions were opened simultaneously. This behavior is part of the more advanced protection and position management logic that has been progressively introduced into the system. The objective is not simply to hedge exposure mechanically, but to allow Alpha Maverick to react when the market structure begins to indicate that the original directional assumption may no longer be valid. As the new trend became clearer, the system ultimately closed the buy positions. 2 of those trades were closed at a loss. Accepting these losses was part of the risk management process. Once the system identified that the market was developing in the opposite direction, maintaining those positions would have created unnecessary exposure and potentially increased the drawdown. The important point is what happened afterwards. Alpha Maverick continued to follow market conditions and successfully executed the opportunities generated by the prevailing trend. By the end of the week, the system had completed 31 winning trades, compared with only 2 losing trades. This represents an exceptionally strong ratio of profitable to losing trades and demonstrates the effectiveness of the system's trade selection process during this particular market regime. The quality of the week can also be seen clearly in the risk metrics. The final return reached 7.5%, while the relative drawdown was limited to just negative 2.91%. This is particularly relevant. Over recent weeks, one of the areas where we have been concentrating our development efforts has been the reduction of relative drawdown. The objective is not simply to increase profitability, it is to improve the relationship between the returns generated and the amount of risk required to achieve them. Week 34 provides a very good example of what we are looking for. A 7.5% weekly return combined with only minus 2.91% relative drawdown represents a significantly more efficient risk-to-performance profile, and this was achieved despite the system having to manage a genuine change in market direction during the week. The simultaneous presence of buy and sell positions illustrates how Alpha Maverick is becoming increasingly capable of managing transitional market conditions rather than relying exclusively on a single directional assumption. When the evidence changed, the system adapted. When the buy positions were no longer justified, they were closed. And when the new market direction provided valid opportunities, the system continued trading in accordance with its rules. This is precisely why individual losing trades need to be viewed within the context of the complete trading process. The objective of Alpha Maverick is not to eliminate every losing trade. That would be unrealistic in any market environment. The objective is to ensure that losses remain controlled while profitable opportunities are exploited efficiently. Week 34 demonstrates this particularly well. With average volatility around 37, the system remained within a favorable operating environment throughout most of the week. This provided sufficient opportunity for active trading without exposing the strategy to the more extreme volatility regimes in which Alpha Maverick automatically reduces the number of trades or delays its entries. The result was a week with substantial trading activity, very high trade efficiency, and, most importantly, controlled risk. By the end of week 34, Alpha Maverick had generated 7.5% profit, completed 31 winning trades, recorded only 2 losing trades, and maintained relative drawdown at negative 2.91%. It was therefore not only another profitable week, but one of the strongest examples of the balance we are continuously seeking between performance, adaptability, and risk control. Week after week, the objective remains the same: to improve the efficiency of the system without changing the fundamental discipline that has driven its consistency. Week 34 represents another important step in that evolution. Once again, Alpha Maverick demonstrated its ability to adapt to different market regimes by combining disciplined risk management, volatility control, and consistent performance generation. Each trading week adds further evidence of the model's robustness and the strategy's continuous evolution, while maintaining a clear focus on capital preservation and the delivery of sustainable long-term returns. If you have any questions about the strategy, the risk model, or the performance breakdown, feel free to reach out. You can connect with us across our social channels and official communication platforms for deeper insights, weekly updates, and educational content. And if you're looking to better understand regime-based trading and structured risk management, our community resources are available to help you learn more. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.